we would say it's the #1 technical skills training program in the world. That's not said just by us, but said by many international stars, and especially by Sir Stanley Matthews, one of the originators of skillful soccer, if you want to call it that. Well, I think it's been a year of great success throughout the whole world. You know, we're in, I think, 26 countries, every continent, and I think everyone's experiencing a great upsurge in popularity. And we say that bearing in mind that, for example, the economy in the US is supposed to be tanking, yet people have had banner years. And it seems to be replicated throughout the world. So I think people are catching on to the idea that if they want to be good soccer players, and if they want to have any chance at all, and I'm not suggesting for a moment we're developing pro players, but if they want to have any chance at all at going for the brass ring in the pro game, then they must have excellent technique. They've been very popular. I don't know, I think we've run maybe a dozen or more in US over the last year or so. We're here to do one here tomorrow and Saturday at Canberra, and then we're going up to Cairns in the northern part of the country to do another one next week. So they've been very popular, and all I would say is they've been very popular because the response to them has been fantastic. I hate to say that because we're presenting them, and it sounds very self-serving to say it, but in fact most of the coaches who come to it say it makes a great difference in their future practices. Kids seem to be more engaged, more enthusiastic, and the level of energy seems to sort of kind of go through the roof.
Let me last, come on!
The first thing I would say is that we do good things for kids. Now, it sounds like cliche. All the things that we say sounds like cliche, but all I can tell you is that was in our mission statement in 1984. We stated that 30 years ago. It was going to be good things for kids. We wanted to develop skillful, confident, creative players, and this was the second part of that sentence was important to us. That was players who could combine effectively with teammates or go it alone if they have to. That was an acknowledgement right from the very get-go that it's a team game. It's not about individuals alone. It's not about skills alone. It's about individuals with excellent skills who can combine, who see the possibilities through teammates in a team game to be effective. So it was always that way, but also the added value that Coerver brings, we believe, is that we have kids who can do all these things collectively with their teammates, but also, when they need to, they can turn on that little bit of magic and create scoring chances and turn games. Adidas have always been a major worldwide sponsor for us for the last 30 years or so. And they've seen the value in it. If you want to call it as grassroots soccer, they might term it. Other companies would obviously term it that. Now, if you look at the YouTube and so on, you'll see street soccer. You see many different kinds of soccer being portrayed on there. But we've been there at the grassroots of soccer, the real grassroots of kids coming through, not playing street soccer, but basically street soccer taken to the fields of our practice fields with clubs and teams throughout the world. And it's kind of interesting that many of these teams are following the same curriculum as we all do throughout the world. Well, it was a bizarre thing for me. I was going over there for an event at Chelsea, and the media guy who was there, who met me, he says, "Oh, do you know you've been voted 7th? Very good." And he thought I knew all about it. And I'm saying, "What are you talking about?" He said, "You've just been voted 7th amongst the all-time Chelsea 11. I'm saying, "What do you mean?" "Well, there had been a vote taken." I had no idea there was a vote taken. I think there was quite a number of fans. It wasn't a couple of thousand fans voted it. I think there was a lot of fans voted for the whole event. And of course, when he took me out onto the field for the game when I was there against Fulham, and he introduced me to the fans. I said, "Don't walk me around the field, whatever you do, don't do that again to me." He did. He grabbed the microphone and started walking. So I had to follow him, you know. But I thanked the fans that night because I had no idea it had happened. But it was lovely that it had happened, and we'll brag about it occasionally. But it was lovely. I mean, a lovely surprise. And they had voted, I think it was, number 1 was Drogba. I think number 2, I think it was John Terry, and I think a couple of others. Peter Cech was number 6, and I was number 7. So I was quite tickled. I was really pleased as punch, you know. What I can tell you is that some of the kids coming through many of the programs throughout the world is astonishing. I was just down in Dallas, Texas, 15th of December, and we had a diploma course, and the local licensee, we used some of his kids as demonstrators for the last session. Well, I've got little kids who are maybe 8, 9-year-old. There's a little Mexican gal, beautiful little girl with long dark hair, and she looked like Maradona, if ever you've seen a mini Maradona. She was collecting the ball beautifully with her left foot, beautiful first touch, and her head was up, and she's looking around almost like she's running the whole team. There's a little 9-year-old girl playing with adults and guys, and we see that replicated throughout the US. Many of our guys do club neutral programs, centres of excellence programs, so anywhere from kids 7, 8, 9-year-old all the way up through 14, 15, 16. They're going there, they're working throughout the winters at extreme ball control and ball mastery, and they end up going back to it's a club neutral program, remember, so kids from all sorts of clubs, nobody's recruiting them, and then they go back to their club teams in the springtime, and they become sort of dominant players from being perhaps middle of the pack players. They're suddenly dominant players, and they've been placed in the middle of their teams to be the playmakers, simply because of the skill and the ball mastery they've developed over that winter period.
Ready, yellow? Shot, go.
I think the whole idea, and it sounds cliche today because everybody in the mission statement seems to say the same thing. All I can tell you is we said it way from the get-go. It was all about doing good things for kids, developing kids who had excellent technique, were excellent competitors, and we put them into many challenging situations in our practices. So we feel at the end of that, it comes out not only an excellent technical player and excellent competitive player, but also good citizens. Guys who know the difference from right and wrong, have good sportsmanship, and are willing to put their hands up to say when somebody's beaten them fair and square, and that's good for them. But we'll be back. We'll be back, and we'll see you next time, kind of thing. All I can say is, from all the young kids that I see coming over here the last couple of years, I think you've got a lot to be proud of, and there's going to be a lot of guys, a lot of kids making a name for themselves in the game. So I think the standard of skill is absolutely phenomenal.